Shalom, my Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters. So first of all praises to Elohim and to his holy son, Yahweh HaMashiach. So I want to just give some encouraging words to Yah's chosen people. So this is going to be a motivation for us, brothers and sisters, to give us that push that we've been needing and wanting. Now, a lot of you have been getting together quite a bit, whether it's by email, by phone, by Skype, by FaceTime, even in person. And a lot of you are coming together like never before. You know, a couple of us brothers came together on Pentecost yesterday. It was about five of us. And so one of the brethren asked, hey, can you do a video on just motivating Yah's people? You know, I've done several videos on that as well, but you know, we need it even more in this hour, brothers and sisters. And I'm telling you, the fiery trials that we're going through is going to strengthen our faith. That's why we need each other. That's why we have to come together as brothers and sisters and pray for one another, encourage one another. You know, iron sharpens iron. And that's what we're going through right now, because I'm telling you, the Most High is getting ready to come back. And we getting ready to get up on out of this joint. And here's the good news. We don't even got to pack up, because we're taking everything that the heathens have took from us. That's right. We're taking all their spoils. So we're going to call this lesson Zion, Faint Not. Because by the will of the Most High, I want to continue to encourage you, brothers and sisters, to continue on and to continue to push on. Perseverance is everything. You know, and I know it's hard. And we all know that this is no easy walk, because you got Christianity that's deceiving our people left and right. You got the heathens, the ways of the heathens that's deceiving our people. You got these crazy, silly camps that are deceiving our people. You got these crazy Israelite Hebrew groups that are sending our people over to Egypt and leaving them stranded over there with no financial means to get back home. You know, and the people that send them over there are the ones that drain their bank accounts. These old wicked black devil Hebrews sending them over there like that. And then they're going to drain their whole bank account. Don't even give them a way to come back. I mean, that's evil. I mean, that is, how can you even be that way? And you claim to be part of the Most High. You claim to represent the Most High. And it's like we're getting hit. We're getting hit in every direction possible. And I've never seen a people like us that just, we're taking it from every direction. And sometimes it seems like we can't win for losing, because we got everybody on every side trying to deceive us, even our own people. Even those who call themselves Hebrew Israelites. And you all know what I'm talking about. That's why it's so important, brothers and sisters, to worship the Most High in truth and in spirit, as it says in John. It's important. I'm going to tell you something. It is so important that we not follow man. I can't stress that enough. Following man will always get you in trouble. And following man can cause you to be lost. You know, and it's just a crime shame how our people just constantly just want to follow man. And our people are so caught up, just like the movie The Matrix. They don't want to be unplugged, and they will fight you. They will literally fight you and try to draw blood to stay plugged into this crazy system. And they want to be deceived so bad.
The Matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy. But when you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters, the very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system, that they will fight to protect it.
Did you hear that? They will fight to protect it. And that's where a lot of our people are. And that's why 2/3 of them are going to be destroyed, because they refuse to wake up. And they want to continue to remain asleep. You notice that white woman at the end. That's how our brothers are and our sisters. Boy, they love their white women and white men. And they'll fight to the drop for these heathens. And so you got our people who are they don't want to be unplugged from Christianity. You got a lot of our people who don't want to be unplugged from these camps that are deceiving them. You got our people that don't want to be unplugged from these Hebrew Israelite groups that are being sent over to Egypt and being deceived in all kind of manners. But for us, brothers and sisters, those of us who are unplugged and who are awakened, we have a lot to deal with. And we have a lot against us. And this is where I want to really encourage you to be strong, because like I said earlier, we're being hit from every angle, and there's no stopping in sight. And that's why we have to constantly worship the Father in truth and spirit. We can't give in to the rope-a-dope of following man. It's going to lead us always. It's going to lead us down that road, always, down that wrong path of darkness. And with that being said, we have to choose, brothers and sisters. Are we going to follow man, or are we going to follow the Most High? Are we going to give in to the teachings of men, or are we going to let the word of the Most High teach us what's truth? You know, and that's where we got to make a decision. And that's where we're going to be tried, brothers and sisters. Now, you may be thinking, well, you know, if the Most High didn't want this to happen, then why does he have camps out there? Why is Christianity out there? You know, there's evil all in this world, brothers and sisters. We got to choose. We got to choose. And the Most High don't have robots, you know. And at the end of the day, we got to examine everything. We got to test the spirits, because the Bible tells us to test the spirits. I don't care where you are, even me, you know. And that's why I tell you all the time, you know, you need to study. You need to study the word for yourself. And I'm telling you, this thing is getting to a point where, you know, we're seeing the separation. We're seeing the separation of the wheats and the tares. Everybody's going to one side or the other. You know, you're going to have one group that's going to be a part of the tares, and the other group is going to be a part of the wheat. And when the Most High comes back, he's going to harvest. And guess what? A lot of these people that are deceiving our people, including our own people, deceiving our own people, they're going to be chopped up and thrown in the fire. All right, let's go to Ephesians chapter 3, and let's look at verse 13. It says, "Wherefore I desire that ye faint not." Y'all hear that? It says, "I desire that ye faint not at my tribulations for you, which is your glory." Now, that is profound, because we're going to be tried in every way. All these false doctrines that are being thrown at us, even from our own people who are claiming to be Hebrew. We got to test the spirits. We got to test everything by the word of the Most High. And these false doctrines that are being thrown at us, guess what? They are part of our tribulations, because the Most High is going to test us to see whether we're going to follow Elohim, the Almighty Yah, or are we going to follow after the works of man? And you see, and I hate to say it, but some of our people, brothers and sisters, they just plain stupid. You know, some of our people will just follow anything. They'll take anybody's word for it and just follow it. I mean, it just bugs me and irks me how gullible our people can be sometimes. Just follow anything, anybody. You know, our people are the only people that do this kind of stuff. You know, we the only people that want to marry outside our races. You know, you look at the Chinese, Japanese, you don't see them doing that. It's only so-called black people. And, you know, go figure. You know, the Bible says our people is a stiff-necked people. The Bible says in Hosea 4:6, "My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge." And also the tribulations that we're going to be going through is just all stuff with our family members. You name it. Whether it's a job, people that you work with. I mean, you name it. All kinds of tribulations are going to come our way to test us, brothers and sisters. But we have to remain strong. We can't let little temptation and trials break us, because this is part of the Most High's working our spirit to strengthen us for these last days. But you see, the Most High has given us some resources. Because I'm going to tell you, when Hamashiach was on this earth, how do you think he overcame sin? How do you think he overcame tribulations and trials? How do you think he overcame all that? Because he heavily depended upon Elohim. And guess what? We can do the same exact thing. The Bible says in Psalms 119:11, "For I hid thy word in my heart, that I might not sin against thee." That is the biggest source we have right there, is the word of the Most High. So anytime we feel like we're about to sin, or we're about to fall short, or getting ready to be tempted with something, we got to quote those scriptures in our minds. Now, you can't stop temptation, but you can prevent yourself from being pulled from that temptation and actually committing that act. And that's why we have to go to the word of the Most High and use that as our strength, brothers and sisters. It's no other way. 1 Corinthians 10:3-5. It says, "For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Elohim to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of Elohim, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach." So we have to constantly get this word in our minds. And notice it says casting down imaginations. And everything that we think about, every sin that we ever commit comes from the thoughts. That's where it starts. It starts with that thought in your mind. So the way we practice that is that we have to continually practice in our minds, practicing that word of the Most High, quoting those scriptures in our minds, so that we can deflect the darts of the enemy. Because we have to keep our minds pure, brothers and sisters, especially in these last days that we're seeing that is coming upon us. We have to work out our salvation with fear and trembling. All right, let's read the first part of that verse again. It says, "For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh." Now get this, because this is important. "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Elohim to the pulling down of strongholds." So you know what this verse is saying? It's saying that, hey, we may be in these fleshly bodies, but we have a power from on high to draw our resource from, to gain that power to help us to be overcomers. And that's what this verse is saying. It says, "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal." Now, you look at all the armies of the world, they have all these high-tech weapons and all kind of things to destroy their enemies. But see, the Most High has something even more greater, and we have such a power. And that's why I was telling you all a couple of videos ago that if we come together, do you know how much power that the Most High would bestow upon us? So much power that it would literally destroy our enemies. And we're seeing that. We are seeing that as we even speak. All the stuff that's going on right now in this world, it's like the Most High is taking these plagues off of us, these curses, and putting them on the heathens. Because we're coming back to his laws, commandments, and statutes. Because see, that's what it's all about. And it's a beautiful thing to see all this happening in our generation. All right, let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 3. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. And let's see what that says. It says, "There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But Elohim is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it." So in other words, the Most High is not going to put you through anything more than you can bear. Because see, we all have our different trials and tribulations. But the Most High is going to give us just enough to strengthen us. But at the same time, he is not going to overburden us with trials and tribulations that we're going to break from it, because he knows our hearts. He knows what we can handle and what we can't handle. Okay, so let's get that in our minds. The Most High knows us. We're talking about the same Elohim who knows the numbers of the hairs on our head. I mean, we serve a powerful and mighty Elohim. Let's go over to James 1:13 through 15. It says, let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of Elohim, for Elohim cannot be tempted with evil. Neither tempted he any man, but every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. So we can't blame anything on the Most High, because see, it starts with us. It starts with our thought process. And the moment we give in to that thought process, that's where we go wrong at. That's where we start to gravitate towards those sin that's going to cause us to be lost. And, that's why the Most High gives us instruction in his scriptures. And, we don't have no excuse. We have every power that the Most High has given us and bestowed upon us. All right, let's go to James 1:12. And let's see what that says. It says, blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which Elohim hath promised them that love him. So we are to endure these temptations. There's an old saying that you can never prevent the birds from flying over your head, but you can prevent them from making a nest in it. So in other words, we're going to be tempted no matter what. We're going to always be tempted throughout this spiritual walk, this Israelite walk, brothers and sisters. We're going to constantly be tempted in all manner of ways, but we don't have to give in to those temptations. And that's the big difference. And when you feel like you're about to give in to that temptation, that's when you need to get on your knees. You need to pray. You need to quote them scriptures in your mind constantly to give you strength, because we have power from on high. We just now waking up in this walk, coming out of Christianity, and we're starting to learn how to use this true power that the Most High has given us. All right, let's go over to Hebrews chapter 2, and we're going to read verse 18. And it says, for in that he himself has suffered being tempted, he is able to succor them that are tempted. In other words, HaMashiach did exactly what we're supposed to do. Depend totally upon Elohim, the Most High Yah, because that's exactly what HaMashiach did. And he went through all sorts of temptations, just like we go through temptations today. But where do we get our source from? Where do we get our power from? We get it from the Most High Yah. That's how he sustains us. Go back to the video and look at those scriptures we quoted earlier. All right, let's move on. Hebrews 4:15. And it says, for we have not an high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin. That's a key word, brothers and sisters, yet without sin. Can we do the same thing? Absolutely. How do we do that? Again, we do it through the word of the Most High. When HaMashiach was tempted in the wilderness by the devil, what did HaMashiach use? He used the word of the Most High to defeat his enemy. And we have that same power to defeat our enemies. And I'm telling you, saints, this thing is getting real. And, we're living in the last seconds. And I truly believe that this is the last push. Look around. Look around you. What's going on? If there's so much stuff going on, they can't even fit it in the news. Let me just show y'all something right quick. Y'all been paying attention to this volcano that's been going on in the big island of Hawaii. Now that thing is getting worse. They've never ever seen it like this, ever. But let me just show you how bad this thing is getting.
A dire warning for many on Hawaii's Big Island. Get out now. Fresh lava is taking over homes and streets, cutting off neighborhoods as officials issue their final evacuation orders. Families now having to leave everything behind.
This house is toast. House on that side over there, also gone. This is insane.
My goodness, new lava fountains are actually opening up and spewing into the air, and one fissure doubling in size over the past 24 hours. The lava has now invaded almost 4 square miles, an area so big it can be seen from space. All of this as scientists stand by watching Kilauea to see if it's headed for another massive eruption. Miguel Marquez joins us live from Pahoa, Hawaii, and we are in now the 4th week of this nightmare, no end in sight. Tell us what you're seeing.
Yeah, there is no end in sight, and one geologist who works on the mountain here said that they think they are only seeing a tiny percentage of the amount of lava in the system so far. I want to show you exactly where we are. A couple of concerns right now. The geothermal plant that is near here, the lava is encroaching onto that land. It has slowed overnight. The concern there that if it hits it only about a half-mile away from where we are right now, if it hits those wells in that geothermal plant, it would create sort of a hydrogen sulfide gas, which could be deadly to people. Leilani Estates and Lanipuna Gardens are just about less than a mile from where we are, just down this way. In front of us is that famous picture that CNN has had up for several days now, that live camera. That pile, that what has now formed a new cone of lava, is it's built up so much that you can no longer see it fountaining in that area, but it is fountaining in several areas in Leilani Estates. In the last 24 hours, we have seen lava fountaining as high as 100 feet in that area, and that is the concern for homeowners. More than 80 homes have now been lost. There are about 2,000 people that live in those two neighborhoods. It is a slow-moving and terrifying situation for them. And I want to show you what's happening here right now, just in front of us. This is fissure, I believe it's fissure 22. And we're starting to see, I don't know if you can tell, but there's a lighter gray lava in that area. That is new lava that has formed overnight, and at certain points you can see cracks of that molten red lava starting to pop out. And if you go all the way down to the ocean, you can see that's where lava is feeding all the way down into the ocean there, creating that laze, which is basically tiny microscopic pieces of glass and hydro and sulfuric acid, which is incredibly deadly if you come in contact with it. Incredible to see the degree of damage to this area. Also keep in mind, we're about 25 miles away from the summit of Kilauea. This thing is far from over, say scientists. Kilauea itself, the summit, has sunk about 5 feet since all this began.
Oh,
Frederica?
really? Okay, so really quick then, Miguel, what about the air quality where you are? As we look at all of that, you know, that haze and what you call laze right near the water, one has to wonder, how are you able to breathe? What's it like for you?
We are lucky because we're here, the wind is blowing that way, so all of that bad stuff is blowing that way. If the trade winds stop and all that gas starts to settle down on where we are, we will have to don the masks, and that's when it becomes extraordinarily dangerous, not just for us, but residents in the area as well.
And this is just a taste. Y'all hear me, Saints? A taste. This is not even the main course yet. And we're seeing all kind of manner of stuff going on. Just look around you. I mean, there's weird animal behavior going on around the world. All kind of record-breaking storms, floods, Baltimore's flooding. I mean, all kind of stuff. You name it. And it's like these heathens are just dying left and right. All kind of stuff coming up. And it seems like there's something new every day that's afflicting these heathens. I'm telling you, and it's like the Most High is adding pressure and even more pressure. It's like the Most High is just constantly adding pressure to these heathens. And that's what's happening, because they will, at one point in their time, they will announce who we are as a people. I guarantee you that, because the word says it. Now, they may do it from flat on their backs, but they will acknowledge who we are as a people. And as you see all the affliction that are happening to these heathens, you can see the plagues are slowly coming off. The plagues and the curses are coming off the Most High's people, and they're being put on these heathens. I mean, it's evident. But see, here's the crazy part about it. And if you notice, the heathens, they don't even know what's going on. See, they look at this as natural causes. You know, they're out there planning the stuff. You know, they're making mockery of all this stuff that's going on around the world. But they have no idea that it's directly for them. And they're going to start to realize it. And one day it's going to click. And they're going to realize what they've done. And they're not going to be able to do anything about it. They can't stop it. They cannot stop this. The Most High's hand has already went forward. And this thing they call Nibiru, or whatever they call it, Planet X, Nibiru, I believe it's wormwood, as it speaks of in Revelation. And that thing is bringing destruction with it. And it's on its way, and they're trying to keep that thing hid with chemtrails and all kind of stuff. I'm telling you, it's coming. Brazil has ran out of gas. Let me show you that right quick.
Let the exodus begin. Oh, actually, it started already. We're talking about mass migration within the United States, from one group of states to another. This is America, and we move, but you ain't seen nothing yet. Consider this. In each of the next 3 years, 800,000 people will leave California and New York. That's 800,000 a year.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is James LaFleur with the Impossible Channel. Welcome back. Hope you're having a wonderful day. It is like this. This is one of those moments that we never expected would actually arrive. Remember watching those apocalyptical movies where you got these end time scenes and all those things happening, and you say like, whoa, man, I really hope I never get stuck in the middle of one of these days. Well, folks, I gotta tell you something. Today I did get stuck, and I am stuck in the middle of one of these days. I am not sure how this is all gonna play out. Brazil, the country, the entire continent, is facing a complete shutdown in a couple of days, maybe hours, if things don't get better. I'm stocked for a couple of days here. I don't have a bunker, but it would be a very good situation to have one, actually, because right now we're talking about Brazil. All of the gas stations are closed. There is no gas on the street available. If you have no gas at all in your car right now in Brazil, I'm not talking about a city, folks. Do you understand the size of this? I'm talking about states. More than one state, more than two states, more than three states. I'm talking about a lot of states right now not delivering any type of good. There is a strike going on. It's been going on for a couple of days, and people are worried right now because since yesterday, the gas stations started to warn them that the gas was going to end.
And you know the crazy thing is, Zion, they're not even putting this stuff in the news. And you know, and this is a result of all these other countries moving from the petrodollar and going to the Chinese yuan. I'm telling you, the world is starting to feel it, and the U.S. is being pressured like never before, and they're getting ready to break. And I mean, guess what state's going to be next? It's going to be California, because they have the highest gas prices. I'm telling you, this thing is coming like a freight train. And 90% of this stuff that's going on around the world, saints, they're not even putting it in the news. That's why you have to search it for yourself. You have to look up the articles, because it's happening. It is happening. And this is why I'm sharing this with you, because we need to rejoice. We should be rejoicing seeing things like this. And sometimes our Hebrew brothers and sisters, they get a little depressed because, you know, a lot of us feel like, wow, the Most High is not going to come to deliver us. But he's coming. I'm telling you, I think we're more closer than we actually realize. We are so close. We don't even realize how close we are to the end, to all this stuff wrapping up. And the Antichrist is getting ready to come on the scene. Well, it's already on the scene. It's just a matter of being revealed. I'm telling you, but these things are going to happen first. All this falling away, destruction, is going to bring on all that. And we're right in the middle of it. All the moving pieces are being put together as we speak, just like the Most High planned it. And you know, for us, Zion, it's going to boil down to these laws, commandments, and statutes, because at the end of the day, it's about these laws, baby. You know, we can't get around that. You can't claim to have the Holy Spirit and not keep the laws. That's impossible. You know, you got Hebrews that that think that they don't have to keep the laws. You got some groups that are teaching their congregation they don't have to keep the laws. You know, and that's dangerous because you know what the Most High says about his laws. You know how serious the Most High is about his laws. You don't play around with that. All right, let's go to Deuteronomy 6:25. It says, and it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before Elohim, before our Elohim, as he hath commanded us. That's important. The law shall be our righteousness if we obey to keep his laws, brothers and sisters. We cannot get around that. The laws are like the character of the Most High. You break them if you want to. Let's go to Psalms 40, verse 8. I delight to do thy will, O my Elohim. Yea, thy law is within my heart. Well, why does he put it in our hearts for that? Because that way we don't break it. We remember it forever, because his laws are going to last forever and ever and ever. No stopping throughout all our generations, forever. 1 John 5:3. It says, for this is the love of Elohim, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. In other words, his commandments are not hard, brothers and sisters. As a matter of fact, they should be a great joy to keep these feast days. I love these feast days. 1 John 2:3. It says, and hereby we do know that we know him, if we keep his commandments. There's no way around it, brothers and sisters, and the scriptures are filled with it. 1 John 5:2. It says, by this we know that we love the children of Elohim, when we love Elohim and keep his commandments. Keep his commandments. That is the command, brothers and sisters. Keep his commandments. You see, saints, that's the only way we're getting into the kingdom. You know, in all through the scriptures, the Most High talks about his laws and statutes. I mean, we can be here all day just going through the scriptures, how important the laws are. The laws are the character of the Most High. It's his whole existence. To get rid of the laws is like trying to get rid of Elohim himself. You cannot, that's impossible. You cannot do it. And when it boils down to it, at the end of the day, brothers and sisters, that's what this thing is all about. That's why the Most High is awakening his people, and those who are waking up are also waking up to Torah. And not everybody's going to wake up. We know that 2/3 of our people are going to be cut off. You know, the Bible says, my sheep hear my voice. And there's just a lot of our people, like I said in the beginning, a lot of our people just want to remain plugged to the system, plugged to Christianity, plugged to following man, plugged in to the traditions of man, following their pernicious ways, always looking for that self-exaltation. It's not going to work with the Most High. So with that being said, brothers and sisters, I'm going to leave you with Revelation 14:12. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are those who keep the commandments of Elohim and have the faith of Hamashiach. And brothers and sisters, it's always an honor to serve my Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters scattered to the four corners of the earth. And I say shalom and stay strong.